Okay, a lot of these expanded foam hardshell cases. This is a Caseling brand. They made a lot of different manufacturers make these. Zipper, expanded foam, hardshell, and they're relatively inexpensive and they're good for storing. I store a lot of radio and electronics gear in these and what have you. Role-playing game stuff, all sorts of things. The problem is that when I have a lot of them on a shelf sitting there like this, I really cannot tell the difference, like what's inside. I have tried various solutions, like I've used this little ring here to like put tags on and all sorts of stuff, but what I settled on was riveting on these little aluminum plates and then just using a label maker so that however it's sitting on the shelf, I'm going to see what is inside. So I'm going to show you how I did that. It's pretty obvious. It's some aluminum plates that are riveted on, not too hard. But I'm going to do it right here on video. So first thing I need are the aluminum plates. So I have 3 of these. I sort of color code. I'm going to use blue for my batteries, since all of my batteries are blue in color, and then I'm going to use green, I think, for test equipment and things like that. So let's go ahead. First thing I need to do is, let me show you the other equipment. So I've got, let's see, I've got some aluminum rivets. I have these little aluminum washers, and the way that the rivets work is I'm going to just put this on the inside of the case. So for instance, let me show you where that is in here. Let's see, I've got a little protector there, but the washer is right there to keep the rivet from kind of pulling back through this foam. The foam is pretty stiff, it's pretty firm. And I think that at first the rivet might be okay in there, but it's a lot of force to exert on there. I felt like I needed the washer. So, washers recommended. So these are aluminum washers specifically for rivets. They're designed for exactly what I'm using them for. These are aluminum rivets. These are medium arrow rivets, the so-called greenhead rivets. And then I have this plate. I also thought about using silver, but I think I'll use green in this case. So, first thing I need to do is I got these, and I did spec out that the holes would be the correct size. They are not quite the right size. They're a little small, probably manufactured in millimeters instead of inches, so I'm going to just ream them out. Please be careful if you do this. You don't want that. I'm doing this, I'm just hand holding them, but you're probably safer to use like a vise or something like that. But this is pretty easy in keeping my fingers well away from the bit. All right, and that's that. Sort of clean up the tailings here. Okay. All right, so we've got 3 of these plates prepped. I have 6 washers, I think. Yes, I do. Very good. All right, so I'll set those over here. And I've got this aluminum plate now. What I'm going to do with this aluminum plate is I'm going to stick it in here. This is the scene from the original Batman movie where Michael Keaton puts a serving tray under his shirt. If you remember that scene, that's exactly what this guy is doing. And I had, here it is. Bit of Velcro. I'm just going to use that to sort of stick that in place to keep it. What I want to do is just make sure that when the drill bit comes through, I'm going to drill here in a moment through this case. I don't want it to like zap all the way through and ensnare itself in this mesh pocket. So next step will be that I need to tap 2 holes into the case. And you could probably do this by, I don't know, just forcing an awl through. I actually was trying to use a nail punch for a bit, but I think that I'm better off drilling. This is sort of the step of this process where I'm not 100% certain that this is the best method, but we're going to try it. So the trick here is I'm just going to do one side, okay? So I want to make sure that I am not going to drill through the little rubber logo underneath this, that little plate. Okay. So this is, for the drill bit, this is nothing. It's more about going slow to be accurate. Okay, so there's a little hole right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that nail set and I'm going to use that to keep this plate in place. Like that. And then I'm going to eyeball it, make sure that it looks straight. And I'm going to do the other side. Okay. And our little Batman plate in there keeps it from ensnaring this little mesh pocket. I can set that aside now. I don't need that plate. That's just it. And this metal plate, this is just like something I had laying around. So All right, so there we go. Now, next step, I'll clean this off more later, but we're just going to position that. And I need to get, we need a couple of these rivets, of course. And so the rivet goes through there, right? And it's got the tail of the rivet is sticking up and out. And I'm going to push that through. And this is a little tricky, I guess, because I have to kind of reach into this little mesh area and place one of these washers on it. Okay. And then the next step is really, I just want to make sure that I'm really kind of keeping it compressed so that the washer is tight up against it, but the washer will be pulled up. Okay, and then I've got, it'll be pulled against the back of the case or the inside of the case. So now this is just a hand press here, a hand rivet. And it usually takes a couple of pulls before that little tail pops off, and that's it. Done. Next side. I have to get this through. There we go. And of course I chose to do the top, which is the trickiest. Let's see if I can get that in there. Okay, I feel the washer's on there. You'll notice the head, this hand rivet gun here, this actually has different color-coded heads that match up with the color code of the rivets themselves. So that's it. It's on there, looking beautiful, and ready for me to put on a label from my label maker. And now I'll go ahead and I'll do the other two sides.